The New Deal was going to redistribute the national income according to ideals of social and economic justice. So here Akanksha would like to proceed further for the remaining portion of basic concepts of macroeconomics. So let's start this concept with the very interesting question. Why national income includes only the cost of final goods? It does not include the cost of intermediate goods because already those costs are included in the cost of final goods. If we will count it again, it will create the problem of double counting. Let's take one example. Suppose if you are going to purchase cake, are you paying separately for cream, sugar, chocolate, egg? No, you are paying the final cost of cake at the 400 per kg, 500 per kg, because already those costs are included in the cost of cake. It will be more clear with the concept of production boundary, as production boundary is the line around the productive sector under which production continues. As long as goods remain under the production boundaries, it is considered as intermediate goods, but when goods come out of the production boundary, it becomes a final good. You take example here given when we take the example of production of bread. So farmer produces wheat for 1000 rupees, then miller produces flour which is of 1500 rupees, and after that finally bread produced with a cost of 2000. So that is the final goods. Let's move on the next topic now. So what is difference between intermediate and final goods? Intermediate goods are those goods which are produced for production of other goods or for resale, but final goods are produced for final consumption which satisfy the needs directly of the consumer, and final goods value is not getting added, it's only meant for final use. But intermediate goods value got added in the cost of final goods. Intermediate goods remain within the production boundary, but final goods remain outside the production boundary. That's why the value of intermediate goods does not included in the national income, but the value of final goods get included in the national income. It will be more clear with the diagram showing the examples of intermediate and final goods. As in diagram, fabric represents intermediate goods because fabric is used for the further production of shirts. But when we talk about shirt is considered as the final goods because the shirt has been produced here for the final consumption of satisfying the human needs directly. With this, I would like to add on very important point regarding intermediate and final goods. Suppose when some of the fabric will not able to used up in the same year, it remain for more than 1 year, then it will be considered, or some of the fabric will considered as the final goods here. But if fabric will used up in the same year, then it will considered as the intermediate goods. It means when any goods used up in same year, it will considered as intermediate goods, but if it will remain for more than 1 year, it will be treated as final goods. Next, I would like to discuss few items which will be categorized either as an intermediate goods or as a final goods for better and clear understanding. Here are some of the items at a glance. Very first, purchase of rice by a grocery shop. Is it intermediate goods or final goods? Purchase of rice by a grocery shop will be considered as an intermediate goods because it has been purchased by grocery shop to sell again to the customer, that is for resale purpose. Next, chalks dusters purchased by a school. Is it intermediate or final goods? Chalk dusters purchased by a school is considered as an intermediate goods because this goods is purchased to provide the services which act as an intermediate goods and also used up completely within the same year. Next, computer installed in an office. It is considered here as the final goods because It is purchased here for investment purpose only for an office use, but not for resale purpose. Now again, wheat used by household. Is it intermediate or final goods? Wheat used by household is considered as the final goods because it is purchased for self-consumption but not for resale purpose. As there are a lot of items, but we can't discuss all here at a glance. So the last item for today is refrigerator installed by a firm. Is it intermediate or final goods? Refrigerator installed by a firm is considered as the final good because it has been purchased here for investment purpose, where it is going to be used only by a firm, but it is not purchased for resale purpose. Now further we will discuss how final goods is divided into consumer and capital goods. As final goods either can used by the consumer or used for the investment. So now we will proceed in detail for this. So now what is the difference between consumer goods and capital goods? Consumer goods are those goods which are bought by the consumer to satisfy their needs and wants directly. There are various kinds of consumer goods as per example like durable goods, non-durable goods, semi-goods, durable goods and services. But when we talk about capital goods are those goods which helps to create the capital formation of the country or capital stock of the country and used in the production process. For example, stock of raw material, car used by the company for business purpose. Now we will go in detail how many types of consumer goods are there. So further, consumer good, which is also known as consumption goods, are also divided into four categories. First, durable goods. So durable goods are those goods which can be used again and again. Example, car, TV, refrigerator. Next, non-durable goods. Non-durable goods are those goods which are consumed within a single act of consumption. Example, oil, milk, vegetable, etc. Now this will be more clear to you with the help of diagram. So here is the diagram representing durable and non-durable goods. For example, refrigerator, television, bicycle. It can be used again and again, so it's considered as durable goods. But on the other hand, when we move towards non-durable goods, so example like Colgate toothpaste, here it's given shampoo and bread. It can be consumed with a single act of consumption which cannot be used again. So again, next form of consumer good is semi-durable goods. These form of goods are those goods which can be used for a limited period of time. For example, crockery, cloths. It will be more clear by diagram. So here is the diagram representing semi-durable goods. For example, cloth bag, which can be used only for a certain period of time. Or we can say artificial flower. It can also be used only for a certain period of time. Crockery, etc. And the last form of consumer good is services, which is non-material goods and satisfy human wants directly. For example, doctor, teacher, lawyer, etc. Now the last topic for today is what is investment and what are its types. Investment refers to the addition made to the stock or physical capital, for example building, plant and machinery, tool and equipment. But what is depreciation? Depreciation means when there is decrease in the value of fixed asset just because of regular use during the production process, that is known as depreciation. Now the types of investment, which is gross investment, net investment. Gross investment means to the total addition made to the physical stock during a fiscal year including depreciation. But next, when we talk about net investment, it does not include depreciation. When we deduct the value of decrease in fixed assets or depreciated value, then we get net investment, which is refers to actual investment. This will be more clear to you by this diagram representing the example of depreciation, investment and types of investment. Here in this diagram, the car has purchased for worth $20,000 and the value depreciated per year is 10% for continuously 3 years. So after depreciated value, the price of car became, that is $14,500. So here gross investment is $20,000, which is the price of car. And when we talk about net investment, so net investment here it will be $14,500, which shows the actual investment done by the owner or firm. Guys, you have learned a lot more about basic concepts of macroeconomics. Now I want you to think more about this concept. Thanks for listening.